Why is that way over there?
I'm trying to get me a little more face.
Trying something new?
It's just a little bit of an angle. If you don't like the view, I can move it back. Are the YouTubers live?
Huh?
Are the YouTubers on?
Yeah.
Hi, YouTubers. Yeah. Nail it. Nail it.
I nailed it. We're going to talk Victoria Livestock Show. Georgia election date is today. 2 Senate seats up for grabs. And Dwayne Stovall rejoins the show. We'll talk to Dwayne coming up, all that and more on today's Wade and Carter Show.
That's good stuff. My mic's not working.
I didn't have it on.
Oh, my mic's not on. I guarantee it. No?
It's on. You weren't on because you weren't talking. You're just like, just there.
McNeil.
Hey, how are you today?
I'm good, sir. Good morning to you.
Let's do this. We got a big day.
Slowly, ever so slowly, slothfully. The Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at Deerland Feed. For everything you need, there is Deerland Feed. Get by there. All your farm and ranch needs, all your home pesticide and fertilizer needs, knickknacks, gadgets, knickknacks, patty wags. Give the dog a bone.
Get the bones there too.
It's all at Deerland Feeds. 59 degrees in Victoria this morning. The winter of 21. We will rebuild. Heading to a high today of only like 72. Cloudy skies all day, going to rain tomorrow. Okay, that's the drill, people. It's going to be cloudy today. 92% humidity. Visibility 579 yards.
Because the rain comes tomorrow.
80% chance. Look, what does it say? Mics, please, or iPad? You keep circling.
Yeah, it looks. I mean, everything's in.
I don't know.
I don't know either. It looks like.
Are we not good? Are we good?
Well, looks good to me.
Looks good to me.
Yep. Lisa Poole, first one in. Bobby Leister checking in. Rob Moore Knipling, good morning. Terry Murray, Judge Posey.
Can you hear us?
CWB and Bobby Leister says we're at 691 YouTubers. Thank you, Bobby, for keeping an eye on that. David Glass, good morning.
Russia and China.
Scott Snow, Andy Schneider. Karen Webb.
Brent's mic crackles. I tell you what, folks, I'm telling you, magic.
Christina Wise, Scott Tomko, good morning. Condolences to your family, Scott.
Yes, Scott, sorry, sir, for your loss. It keeps looping and messing up. Magic 95.9999.
It's not coming through the mics, just picking up room noise, according to DJ Nelson.
Yeah, look.
Don't do that.
I want to break it.
Carry on.
Get a new one. Get a new microphone. I get a new microphone. I had a vision the other night about, the song by Charlie Daniels about the devil went down to Georgia.
Yeah.
We could do the Dems went down to Georgia looking for a election to steal. Yeah. They were in a bind because they were way behind and had an election to repeal. I don't know why nothing works around here. It's probably they say it's our fault. We beg to differ.
I don't see any problems with it.
It sounds different to me in my head. But You know what? I'm not that important to the show. As long as Dwayne Stovall gets on and you're here, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Then I can heckle you, and I'm really just here to entertain myself anyway, so it doesn't matter.
DJ Nelson should be calling in any minute now.
Yeah.
Be talking to her about a meeting tonight to deal with the live Victoria Livestock Show. So looking forward to that. So big election in Georgia, 2 Senate seats up for grabs, 2 Republicans that have the Senate seats.
That's
being
tomorrow?
contested. That's today.
Today.
David Perdue facing John Ossoff.
I'll take Purdue on that.
Kelly Loeffler facing Raphael Warnock.
I'll take the Kelly chick. Are those the Republicans?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Whew. It's on.
There we go.
That's going to be BJ Nelson. I mean, I don't have to say anything once she's here.
Good morning, Wade and Carter. How are you? Good.
Yeah, I don't get it. It's very annoying.
It is.
I want you
don't
to look
see
over there.
anything.
My microphone isn't doing anything.
Yeah, it is.
Only on your microphone. If I turn you off, my mic's not doing anything. Well, I guess it is.
So, BJ, what's okay? Yep.
Hey, we have an amazing community, and I know y'all depend on each other to create a wonderful show for our kiddos. We invite you to the Fall City and Inez. Thank you for this at 7 p.m. to answer any questions that they have. I will be there. But be a little dinner available in the bar.
So, Bomb Diggity, what day? Oh, you did something there. I heard it. Bomb Diggity today. What time? 7 p.m. So, so why is it that if you buy the pig, if I buy the carcass in the auction, why don't I get that meat as the guy that bought the pig? I want the pig. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every year, that is a disposition request. It's confusing. Some things are available, some aren't. It depends on how you rank and it's sold. Right now, one of the main problems is all the processors are full because of COVID. They're just overloaded. They're not enough. And I think if there's anybody out there that's thinking of opening a processing plant, then now would be the time because we need more.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want to start going through the processes, you want to start a family business, there you go.
There you go. Well, we're having amazing Magic 95.9 technical difficulties, BJ. We're gonna let you go.
I'm gonna let you go so you don't get it.
Okay.
All right.
We'll pass that along.
Because it's all for the kids.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah,
Thank
do
you.
a great
Appreciate
job.
it, BJ.
So that's BJ Nelson calling in. She's the chairman of the board of White Trash Services, 550-1826. You got questions about what you just didn't hear? 550-1826. Give her a
Don't
call.
forget, folks, you can always go to
Bomb Diggity tonight, 7 o'clock.
to find out more. And you can always listen in on the Magic website, or you can tune in to 95.9 FM.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. This is not rocket science. People will do radio for years without having the difficulties we have here. Now, Ash doesn't ever say much, but I pay to be here. My mother does, actually. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah, your mom.
And I'm tired of people jacking with the board at night when nobody's listening. And then we come in here and everybody on the planet's listening, and our board's been jacked up, and it's irritating to me.
And the mics are cutting in and out.
Because the people that are in here at night, they're in here by themselves, talking to their grandmother. I don't know what the deal is.
I don't either, to be honest.
It's irritating.
I can't figure it out.
Most important show in Victoria radio, and people can't hear us.
So, yeah, I'm not, and I don't know
We
where
need
the
to tell Stovall not to call today.
probably. Well, we can still.
I'm going to tell him to see if he can call tomorrow. I'll text him.
Okay.
Why don't you tell people about your conversation with Ted Cruz?
Yeah, I had a great one with Ted Cruz yesterday. Let me find the text. I was all excited because I got a text yesterday. And I was like, ooh, this is exciting stuff. Let's see if I can find it now. It said Ted Cruz here. I need your help to overturn the election. Then he asked me for money. I was so pumped that Ted Cruz actually had my number
Yeah.
and wanted to talk to me and
Nice
wanted
guy.
my information
Nice.
and nothing. Sure, Lauderback checking in. Trey Molina, good morning to you. Funky wants to know our take on the Tulsa, Mississippi State
Was that
brawl.
a basketball game? I'm going to take Mississippi State in that one, aren't you? I mean,
Yeah.
I would think they would.
No, that was the end of the bowl game
Oh,
on the weekend.
nobody watched
Big
that
brawl.
game. Good morning, Sheriff Louderback.
I quit watching it. I didn't see the brawl. I saw it afterwards. Yeah, I would think if there's certainly not some suspensions handed down by the schools and maybe some kids kicked off programs. I don't know.
I don't know.
Lisa Poole says, yeah, you can watch on YouTube, but the same problem exists on YouTube. We don't have the phone lines.
Well, we don't have the phone lines here. We don't have
for
the
YouTube.
And this sounds like we're in a well. And it's only because somebody's in here at night playing radio that doesn't know what they're doing, jacking around with our board. Hey, Kelly Fromm got the same text from Ted.
Darn,
Yeah.
I'm not so special anymore.
But y'all are special because if you got that from Joe Biden,
He wants something else, though.
I'll tell you that Dawn T-Lap, the amazing, turned me on last night to
There it is.
a video that had audio of Joe Biden communicating with the president of Ukraine, where he refers to, at that time, it was in February of 2016. So Trump has been sworn in. Trump is in office as the president of the United States. And former Vice President Joe Biden is talking to the president of Ukraine saying, Trump's like that dog that chases cars. Now he's caught the car and he doesn't know what to do with it. And I thought, that's a terrible human being. I mean, you're talking about the president of the United States from the position.
And there's, to me, is the problem with the swamp as it's become known in Washington. They are so entitled to think that the only ones that have a clue how to be president are those that have been entrenched in Washington, D.C. for years.
Yep.
And that entitlement that, and you saw it with President Trump. And don't get me wrong, he's an outsider in some respects, but he's not really an outsider. Because I can't run for president because I wasn't born here. But I really doubt that somebody like you would ever gain the traction to run to be president.
No.
Because you don't have enough connections.
Correct. I
Right?
couldn't even be mayor.
No.
I mean, come on. Cub
Okay.
Scout class president, maybe.
Okay, let me rephrase my example here. There is no way that somebody that doesn't have money, influence, and certainly not a true outsider without those other two variables will ever get elected president,
Right.
because we see it when the party of diversity doesn't run or rejects the only candidates of color early in the
Immediately.
process,
Immediately
kicking out Kamala Harris,
old white guys.
immediately kicking out Andrew Yang. And all that is left is old white guys and old white women, all who pretty much had been entrenched in Washington, D.C. forever.
BJ Nelson says she watched that entire video. It was over an hour. And Dawn and I watched it. It was kind of foreplay for us, just a couple of minutes of politics. Then it was snuggle time. A couple of minutes of politics. When Brent starts to doze off, the phone goes up. But we watched another episode of Shameless last night. What a terrible, terrible.
What shows that? I'm not
It's
familiar with that
William
one.
Macy, and he's trying to pay off Felicity Huffman's legal fees by doing a series. It's crazy. It's just
Jenna West checking in.
$13 billion of Ukraine money is in the U.S. Treasury. And Biden basically insinuates,
How do we get that money?
well, I think
Fining them for something?
Barack put it over there for them. And but the guys that were reading it were reading the transcripts and all that, said that this guy, Poroshenko, was just a tremendous thief.
Oh yeah. Well,
Terrible
I mean, let's be honest. The Ukraine is the former USSR.
Back
And-
in the USSR.
I mean, there is a ton of corruption in the former Soviet Union,
Careful.
and a lot of those
Careful.
former Soviet Union republics
You're
are
going
now
back.
republics. I'm going back.
Why does this mic sound so dead?
I don't know. I don't know.
Are you giving her all you can, Captain?
Giving her all she's got, she can't take it anymore, Captain.
There you go. Heard a guy from Scotland this morning on the radio. He said Cedius, like Cedarius, like C.D. Lamb. It was Cedius.
It's serious.
Serious
Serious
business.
business. Like that?
Yeah. Jeff Fonseca said, I'd be irritated. You should get a week off your lease agreement. Well, they'd give us the whole year off if we complain too much.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, make no
You're
mistake,
looking for a new.
that's part of the bit. Now, we could find another radio station. We couldn't find another home. Magic 95.9
Been good to
it's our home.
baseball.
Did
Been
you
very, very
complain
good
when you
to
were
me.
home? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Dawn just says, unplug the mics and put them back in. Maybe there's a misconnection. It sounds really bad. Okay. Thanks, dear. That's Dawn, who works in microphone technology at the VCS companies.
Here, let's see if that does.
No,
see, there's nothing. There's nothing there now.
Nothing there.
Nothing there.
Nothing dead. Why don't you do that for a while, and I'll just
Okay, you
sing
just
Dean
do the
Martin
show.
favorites. Everybody loves somebody sometime. Everybody needs a little love. I watched Ocean's 11 the other night. The first one,
Again?
yeah, Frank Sinatra,
Oh, you watched the original
Yeah.
one, not the one, not the George Clooney reboot.
Peter Lawford before Frank Sinatra dismissed him from the Rat Pack.
Oh, wasn't he? He was a Brit, right? They didn't like Brits back
Yeah,
then.
he was also John Kennedy's brother-in-law. And then when Kennedy stiffed Sinatra, and Sinatra said, "Fine, I'm going to stiff your brother-in-law." Peter
What was he
Lawford.
hoping? He was going to get the ambassador to Italy job?
They wanted to be buddies. He wanted to be buddies with him
Yeah.
because, JFK was a mobster.
Pull that other mic in and use that one. Maybe that's. See if that'll at least help your mic issues get settled.
Hello. See, that sounds a lot
Yeah,
better.
no, that sounds a lot better.
So what is the deal?
I don't know. I don't know.
What's the deal,
I don't
Pickle?
know, Captain.
The Wade and Carter program featuring the melodious tones of Brent. Hello, Joe Mitchell.
Time for the receiver upgrade. Are we talking Cowboys or are we talking radio?
Yeah.
I don't know. Actually, Cowboys receivers, I don't have a beef with.
You know what
Texans
I'd like?
receivers probably need some help.
I'd like somebody to come in here with a chain about 10 feet long, wrap it around this board and drag it out.
I know somebody could do that.
Allen's
Allen's Record Service.
578-6300. Allen's is your go-to toe-to. As long as we get the spots in for the sponsors, we're not worried too much. We have no content. There's nothing to talk about. Dwayne Stovall's not going to call now because we don't have a phone. Lucy Poole says we're still breaking up. Ash and I are not breaking up.
Clicks and cracks like an album playing. I don't know what that. I honestly don't know.
Ash and I
There's-
are together again. Wow.
Whoa. All right, well,
Dawn is not happy. Dawn says this is not good. Who's this? No,
we're having a
Tech-
terrible time with our
Tech is
tech.
terrible here. We appreciate that. We're not really irritated. We just need something to complain about, and we've already complained about everything important. Well, we're concerned about this election in Georgia. We're hoping the Republicans win down there just to keep things somewhat on an even keel. Glenn Beck goes so far as to say it's the end of the republic if the Democrats win in Georgia.
There are a few heading down that rabbit hole. About what?
The letter Q. Ask a question. No significance to me with the letter L. No, please take the form, enlighten us. Okay. So we're losers. You're talking about like Republicans in general, maybe me and Ash specifically, that we're being losers about the election? Okay. All right, go with that. And what's Q got to do with it? What's the Q got to do with it? Right. You're clearly a deep thinker. So tell me what the Q has to do with the conversation that you were saying. So I'm a loser. Where's the Q fit in?
Yeah.
Oh, so you could have just as easily said S, and I'd said, I got no relation to S. But then, okay.
Right. Well, thanks for the call. Appreciate it.
No, don't hang up. We have nothing else to do. Let's just, this guy's smart. I like it. Go ahead. You feel free. Really, I'm serious. Take a little time. Tell us what you think about things. So you're is it fair? You're pro Biden. You're looking forward to this next administration. You think these are going to go well? Okay, so nothing about the election process, one way or the other. Just objectively looking at it, there's nothing about it that makes you have any concern at all about the way we elect officials in this country. You feel like whatever happened in Pennsylvania or didn't happen in Pennsylvania, that it's all just a bunch of sore losers. All those affidavits, all those folks that said, I watched people run ballots through the machine twice. I saw unsigned ballots. I'm asking, and I'm saying that none of that bothered you? Fair comment. I can go with that. You're not, we're not arguing. I'm giving you a forum to tell me what you think. We're not having a disagreement. Well, I appreciate that's why we have a radio show. Well, take care and have a nice summer.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks. There you have it, folks. That's the enlightened left. You're a sore loser. Okay. Well, I'm not upset about that. I'm certainly not a loser. I can tell you that. No, here's somebody else. Yeah. Somebody's going to talk about him.
Hello. Wade and Carter.
Oh, yeah. Well, that was probably best.
All right. Thanks, Brad. That's probably
Brad, I'm sorry. And Mike, we're having a technical difficulty here that I know when the Hall of Famer gets here, Ralph comes in, he looks like tool time. He'll come in, he'll have a belt on, he'll look like a tool guy. There's a simple button somewhere on this thing
that we can't find.
And it's just not, it just doesn't look right. And it is highly irritating because when we leave here every day, things work. And then Brother Gary and Ralph are here and they don't touch anything. And then we come in the next day, and the place has fallen apart. And there's really no point because there's got.
I think that's who just called. But
No, he just said that we were losers and that we were sore losers. That's a summary.
yeah,
We're sore losers because the election is over and Trump got beat, and we're sore losers.
and to be honest, I don't doubt that.
Yeah.
The numbers are what they are, but there sure seems to be a lot of
A lot of
people
asterisks.
claiming that there's a lot of irregularities and a lot of hijinks that went on, and it's not being. Like I've said, when have courts ever just summarily dismissed sworn affidavits by citizens claiming irregularities and they not being looked into?
Yeah, not to mention, I mean, this is like this election is like the Astros with beating the drum. You know, there's going to be an asterisk by it. It's just the way it is. But Bradley, thank you for the call because nobody can hear you either.
Huh?
You too,
See you,
buddy.
Brad. Bye-bye.
We'll have this fixed by tomorrow, folks. We apologize. Real quick, give you the rundown of the folks that aren't happy on our behalf. The VCS companies, Rocket Oilfield Services, and the only locally owned and authorized AT&T retailer are all part of the Hartman Communication Empire. Whether you need surveillance, security systems, surround sound, those are the 3 S's. If you need that, if you need a gate, if you want a home link, your ranch to your truck, if you want a whatever, outdoor television, a rock that is a subwoofer in your backyard, they've got it. They can do it. Cheswick Furniture Company, 101 years in downtown Victoria. 116 West Juan Lynn, the corner of Juan Lynn and Bridge. That's where you can go and find great deals on great furniture. If you go in there today and say, hey, Wade and Carter sent me, I guarantee you Bobby Leon will still give you the 50% off that he had in 2020.
Y'all can listen at magic95victoria.com.
Yeah,
Don't forget that. That's still there.
Magic95victoria.com.
Or at 95.9.
MAJ.
Although it is a little foggy today, so I'm not sure that the signal is going to carry
Right.
where it needs to.
Today's a great day to be at Veracruz. It's the day before Caldo Wednesday.
Pre-Caldo Wednesday, we
Get in there.
Caldo Eve.
Yep. And then, of course, the Great Barn. You got a party coming up? Reach out to Cheryl, 920-6803.
Christina Wise says it's all clear right now. Don't move.
I'm not moving.
Yeah, we're just going
I've
to
got a
stand here.
cramp in my left buttocks.
Me too.
But I'm not moving. 920-6803. That's where you can reach Cheryl at the Great Barn. She'll come out and design, help you decorate, make your next party memorable. You'll be good. You'll be happy if you use Cheryl. Went Services. Went can help you with your solar panels, solar battery backup, generators, whether you want Kohler, Cummins, Generac, American made in Wisconsin.
Briggs and Stratton.
Generac, Wisconsin.
Just made that up, didn't you?
Yeah,
Sounds good, though.
it's right up there by Moose Knuckle, Saskatchewan.
I could easily believe there would be a Generac,
Right?
Wisconsin.
Reach out to them and let them help you. And then, of course, if you've got cracks in your patio if you're from Calgary, Alberta. Good morning, Canadians.
Still a patio.
Still a patio there? If you're from Scotland, patio. Reach out to USA Concrete Coatings at 578-HOME. They'll come in, fill the cracks, put a new coating down that's beautiful, polyurethane, stronger than epoxy, and they'll put the color treatments on it that'll make it more attractive, make it match your home instead of just dingy, greenish gray, wet concrete. They'll put down a nice coating that's stronger than epoxy. Do it.
It won't peel, won't crack, won't fade. Stain resistant.
578-HOME.
That's the number to call.
Right. Jeff Fonseca says our studio needs a VCS security camera over the board. Our new one may have it. I know that the VCS companies are doing lots of work at our new studio, which is going to be at Laurent Tower. Bill Winland owns several properties here in town, does a fantastic job managing, and lured Magic over there.
I'm looking forward to it.
I'm hoping that part of the contract was like free donuts.
I'm wondering if there was a little lunch counter in the bottom floor of that building.
Right?
For years. I hope it's still there. Zach Smith checking in. Great to be a Texan. We were hoping to talk a little bit about the Texian party that Dwayne Stovall is a part of, and we'll hopefully get our tech issues sorted out and talk to him
Wait,
tomorrow.
Like a little hint on that. They're going to start. Dwayne Stovall's our buddy. It's a guy that you can't be around Dwayne Stovall and like not appreciate his message. He is and
his passion for Texas,
multi-generation Texan, and a guy that he's just all about states' rights and that Texas ought to be able to do what Texas wants to do. I mean, it's just very clean, conservative. There's nothing to dislike about his message. And he ran against John Cornyn, which, bless his heart, you're just running against the money machine that is the most ineffective senator in Congress. I mean, he does nothing. John Cornyn does nothing, period. Love to have him on the show and go, hey, Johnny, what have you done for me ever? He sits around and plays footsie with the Democrats and gets nothing done on your behalf. But yet he gets voted in again and again and again, which is the AOC train, which is like Nancy Pelosi's geriatric butt. These people just get elected again and again and again because they spend billions of dollars getting elected.
A lot of flap over the weekend after Sunday's vote to elect Nancy Pelosi as Speaker of the House from the squad.
Yeah, what was that?
Well, they all got mad that Nancy Pelosi got reelected as Speaker of the House, and now
AOC's
it was AOC's deal, and they tweeted some stuff out, and now they're catching some heat.
You ever notice how AOC was just a poor broke bartender who just wanted to serve?
I don't know what she's about. I think she's a waitress.
Now she's in Chanel. She's always dressed to the nines now. Kevin Meyer says John Cornyn made Obamacare possible. No doubt about it. But Stovall ran against him and did not win. And there's a movement of people that appreciate that. And they are January the 3rd, just the other day, founded what they're calling the Texian Party. And what I loved about it from the very beginning, it basically says, we hold these truths self-evident, blah, blah, blah. It's
the stuff.
It's very, it's like,
that thing.
That's Joe Biden reading you the preamble of the Constitution, blah, 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 blah. You know that stuff. The reality is, and what I was proud to see in there is, hey, whether you're Texian, Tejano, or Texas, we all need to do what's best for the great state of Texas. And I was very pleased to hear that open inclusion of all groups. That's the key. So very excited to see what he has to say. Yeah. And we'll ask him questions.
HR Mallory says the squad voted for Nancy Pelosi. Yeah, they got called out by a lot of their constituents that voted for them because they were hoping for change. And when it came right down to it, party politics and the potential to better themselves with a favorable appointment somewhere in Nancy Pelosi's vision.
That's the deal.
They ended up voting for Nancy Pelosi as Speaker.
And here's another thing. You've got Ted Cruz, and you've got some of these guys high profile. See, Ted Cruz is one of those guys that's like John Cornyn. He's bulletproof. I mean, Ted Cruz beat Beto
as a senator.
Yeah, as a senator, he's bulletproof. He can decide I'm going to stand by Trump, and 2 or 3 years from now, people will have forgotten that. Michael Cloud, maybe not so much.
Well, he's a senator. He's got 6 years for people to forget about.
But I would like to ask Michael Cloud, who's a very principled guy, and who no doubt has a reason for what he is or is not doing. I'd like to ask Michael Cloud why he's not beating that drum and standing for Trump.
You'll get that opportunity on.
There you go.
On Friday.
Because we get our news straight from the source. International content-driven media source. That's us. You forgot that, didn't you?
Yes.
We founded this thing based on being people that weren't afraid to go to the source.
Steve Kidder says, I met John Cornyn once. Have you ever seen that movie Being There?
Right. He, though, he's an impressive guy. You could see John Cornyn playing Sam Houston in a movie. He's a Texan. I'm John Cornyn.
Can't grow enough facial hair, I don't think.
Right. He's an attorney from the San Antonio area. He's not a he's not a bad guy. He's not a bad guy. He's a politician. Just doesn't do anything. He always sides with, he's wishy-washy. Sides with the Democrats. He has no spine and no
Core principles.
There you go. Thank you. Is that fair? I mean, I'm not trying to. We are judging. That's what we do. But I'm saying he just doesn't work for me.
Or is he a product of the Republican Party from the 90s and the 2000s?
Yeah.
And still has enough of a base with those Republicans, the more moderates, that the Tea Party movement kind of left him behind, a little bit.
Right.
It's kind of that's the way I see it.
Gala Coley Golf. Here's the quick update. Cliffs Notes. Tonight, 7:00
at the Bomb Diggity.
At the Bomb Diggity. Yes, the bar will be open. Limited food, but the bar will be open. People can go out there and get a live update of a Victoria Livestock Show meeting, if you will. You can always go to the website. And basically, this year is kind of, they're winging it. I heard all I needed to hear. There's no beer garden. I ain't going.
Yeah. No karaoke show.
Wouldn't that be something? You can't go to the auction because we're going to do that online. But the beer garden will go out. The open beer garden. Yeah. All you have to do is put that word Coley in there, and I start thinking farm and ranch. It's like Deerland.
And BJ Nelson and others are looking at an alternative way to give the kids as much of the full livestock show experience as they can, and that's part of the reason for the meeting.
Why don't we put a ribbon around those animals' necks and run them around the town square a couple of times?
Well, that might work.
They'd get more people than Biden got at his parade.
Got a point.
Yep.
Got a point.
We could do it. Real quick, while Ash looks that up, because we may actually just shut it down.
No, we're not going to shut it down.
Just shut it down. Make a point.
We got lots to talk about.
Adsenhofer, since 1926, Victoria's dealership. Chevy, Cadillac, Mazda, Mitsubishi, they've got it all. Used cars, pre-owned, really, not used. They're not used. You think about an old work truck. Pre-owned is the cream of the crop. That's what they keep at the dealership. The rest they send off to auction. Reach out to Adsenhofer today. Chevy, they do all the new pickups, Suburban, Tahoe, Escalades from the Cadillac department. Mazda has some amazing styling cues going on right now. And Mitsubishi is just a very reliable product. I mean, they make airplane engines. Give them a call. Paint and body shop, all the service, all makes them all. I saw Daryl the other day. He's doing great.
Check your mail for a service special flyer, postcard, folder.
Discount.
Adsenhofer, lots of discounts in there on all sorts of service. Good deal on brand new batteries.
Yep.
So.
Next to last, but never close to least, JP Hull and the folks at Razor IT Solutions. They'll help you with your analytics, help you collect money, help you tie your QuickBooks into your website, for example, to where somebody goes onto your web page and buys a product or orders a service. They can pay for it right there, and it seamlessly goes right into your QuickBooks account. This is stuff that people, can I have your credit card number? Can you give me that number on the back? I mean, you don't want to deal with that. You want to deal with that by pushing a red button. Says, I want to buy now. Empty my cart into the QuickBooks account. JP Hull and the folks at Razor IT Solutions can help you with that. And then, of course, around 11, don't push it, people. Around 11, you can't rush quality.
No.
Get to Uncle Mutt's Barbecue. Today's a great day for brisket, ribs, sausage, chicken, turkey, all the side dishes.
It'll still be a little bit cool around noon, around 11 when they open. So
you associate cold weather, the chili?
Go get the chili.
Got to have that.
It's really good chili.
There you go. What did BJ Nelson say? I have some questions about.
That she wants to about the speaker election. Ask Congressman Cloud. McCarthy was winning the entire time. Then it was obvious Pelosi went and strong-armed the people who were not voting or were saying present. Then all of a sudden Pelosi's votes went up, and it was disappointing to watch it be stolen from McCarthy.
So you're saying politics happened in the middle of your feel-good moment.
But I have a problem with that. It wasn't stolen from McCarthy. The process played out. Pelosi went and made the deal she needed to make. McCarthy wasn't going to win it. When you don't have, he's the minority leader, he's a Republican. Games were being played, so deals could be cut. But McCarthy was never going to win the Speaker of the House as a Republican leader of the minority of the House.
Right.
When you've got enough Democrat votes, the Democrats, even those that held out, the squad and such,
they're just looking for leverage.
Yes. And they got it. They were going to vote. They weren't going to vote. There's no way they were going to vote for McCarthy as the speaker when he has no intention of putting forth any of the Green New Deal.
Right.
And he wasn't going to cut a deal with them to get their votes that would put that to the floor.
And folks, the Green New Deal is still, I hope that guy's listening that called us losers. The Green New Deal is still just such bureaucratic folly. It'll never, ever, ever work. Although we've spent so much money on stimulus and gender studies in Pakistan, I'd almost rather see us spend money on government buildings here.
H.R. Mallory says they also voted House COVID protocol to vote. But, as you know, with elected officials, the protocols are only for us.
My new deal is
not for them.
Live free or die. Sound familiar? Live free or die. There is no freedom.
Live free and die.
You will stay in your home.
If you
will
listen to
lie
some.
down. It's ridiculous. It's tiresome, and it should be over with. Sheeple, quit being sheep. I'm going to encourage Charlie Heibel, if they try to close down the brown bag, then leave it open. What are they going to do? Arrest us? VPD?
Well, they will in Quebec. They'll come and actually drag you out of your house if your neighbors call and report more than 6 people.
You feel
a gathering.
People want to rat on you. And
the folks in the UK did a study, and this was in the Guardian. You can go read it, and tried to equate people's lack of or continued subservience, I guess, with or lack thereof, with government officials not following their own recommendations or laws or what have you. And that was the tipping point for the rest of people to say, you know what, I'm not going to follow these recommendations anymore. And I just don't believe that. I think it was another one of these messages to put the blame. I don't even know where the blame was trying to go with this, but I think it was too simple. If you're trying to tell me that 99% of a country is going to all of a sudden make a decision, or the majority of the country or enough people to make a difference, so whatever. Now it's not like Joe Biden. But if you're trying to tell me that because, well, yeah, Jack, and you know that thing. But if you're trying to tell me that just because some elected officials were doing things that they weren't supposed to be doing, or the things that everybody else wasn't supposed to be doing, but they were doing, is the reason that the citizens of a country or a jurisdiction decided to circumvent those rules, you're full of crap. It had nothing to do with that. I think people finally woke up and realized that they're being played a little bit, or maybe a lot in some cases, because all you have to do is look at California. Cases are skyrocketing. They've had some of the most restrictive lockdown rules in effect from the get-go.
It's like gun control in Chicago. Stringent gun rules, people are still dying. Blame it on the Republicans.
And should elected officials have been a little bit more had a little bit more, I guess, awareness of what they were doing when they were asking others to not do those things, like traveling out of country or what have you, maybe, or going to restaurants and having parties when the rest of the world wasn't allowed to do it. Governor Newsom.
Now, bottom line is, if you're old, fat, or sick, stay home. I went yesterday, I was reading a deal on Twitter, and this guy had said that, correctly, that the same 2.5 million people died in 2020 that died in 19, 18, 17. They went back to 2015. The number has been as low as 2.57. The number has been as high as 2.9 something. This last year, the number was interpolated out because they did the count in November. And it actually, because of COVID, the running 12 months actually went until January. And it came out to 2.8 something. It's not like it was 3.4 million. It just wasn't. It wasn't. The same number of people died last year as died the year before, Just instead of Uncle Fred at 84 dying of congestive heart failure, Uncle Fred got the COVID and passed on us. Well, there you go. Sorry, Uncle Fred. Take care, buddy.
Steve Kidder sums up, the measures aren't working, so why follow them and no one else is participating? I wouldn't say no one else is participating. You still see a lot of people wearing masks. The social distancing thing is probably, if you did any shopping between Thanksgiving and Christmas, for any reason, social distancing went out the window in most stores.
Not to mention, you could walk up to somebody. I mean, I don't.
But some of the measures just make no sense.
Hug people.
I have to wear a mask from the door to my table at a restaurant, and as soon as I sit down, I can take it off.
Dumb.
That 5-second walk
Dumb.
somehow astronomically elevates my risk of COVID as opposed to sitting at that table for an hour with people passing by.
And yet, like our friends at Veracruz who encourage you to wear that mask, they'll even give you a mask if you come in.
Yeah.
Their whole deal is they don't want the government coming out and shutting them down. But the fact that the government can come out and shut you down, do you really think the government knows more or better about your health than you do? Have you listened to these idiots flip-flop for months? Now, I'll listen to John McNeil. By the way, John McNeil reappointed as county health guru and a good guy and a mask proponent. Fine. He's a doctor, okay? I get it. He sees 1,000 people a week that are sick. Mask can't hurt.
And he's following CDC recommendations.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that. But this idea that we're going to close down establishments and put our economy at risk again is bad. Everything but energy was down yesterday on the stock market. It's bad, people. And at some point, if only 1 out of 1,000 people, really 1 out of like 3,000 people is actually dying of COVID, that's the ones that are contracting it, that we know have it. I call it acceptable losses. If you don't, then stay home. If you don't call that acceptable losses, stay home. There you have. We're here. Clearly, I'm practicing what I preach. People got to work. People got to eat. If you don't like it, stay home.
And yet we still got it.
Still here. Yeah, we both had it.
And wore a mask in public, didn't eat out, didn't go to parties. I mean, for 9 months, my life was here, the office, home. Here,
Right.
the office, home. Still got it.
Yeah. Everybody's going to get it. That's the way it is. Unless you get the vaccine. I hope the vaccine works. I do. I hope the vaccine works. I really do. And nobody gets it anymore ever. But they're going to, you watch. Remember that we told you this. Oh, there's a new strain. Got to get a new one.
Well, I mean, it's already happening.
Yeah.
Jay Humphreys checking in. Kristen Richardson is the magic bubble at your table.
And more importantly, folks, along the way, your civil liberties have been eroded. That's what nobody really keeps up with. Remember when 9/11 happened and all of a sudden we all, myself included, sure, President Bush, you can listen to my phone calls. I've got nothing to hide. Well, they just arbitrarily decided whose phone calls they could listen to. I mean, think about that now, people. The government hears what you say. Then you turn around.
And don't forget that Joe Biden, our president-elect, was part of the Obama administration that just kept those things going and actually extended them even further.
Yes, yes. And then think about the idea that now the government has realized that we can tell everybody to wear a mask and they do it. We can tell everybody to stay home and they do it. We are a free country. You're free to do what you want. As long as what I do doesn't infringe upon your civil liberties. And if you really think that me walking down the street without a mask, I saw a lady yesterday driving in a car by herself. It was a person. I'm not sure it was a woman. It could have been she could be in transition. A man and a woman. Had a mask on. I thought, you were such a dolt. You're in a car by yourself, breathing your own exhaust. Just an idiot. Sheep. You're a sheep.
Could have forgot it.
Idiot. Sheep. Put a bag over her head. Wouldn't know if it was a guy or a girl. Not blaming women for this. Just saying.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe Bill de Blasio now has the power to basically just detain anybody who he thinks is recklessly endangering public health.
Yet he danced on Times Square
Yeah.
with his wife. He was the only one there, except for the police people that were there to protect him.
Yeah.
You don't think the elites have a privilege you don't have? You watch the effect, watch like a C-SPAN, watch a White House press conference. Everybody's got their mask on. As soon as the president leaves the room, they all take their mask off. Hey, Bill, how are you? smoking ciggies together. And I mean, come on, people. Don't buy this garbage. It is a mind control game that the government's playing at your expense.
And Canada now requiring citizens of Canada to go get a COVID test prior to re-entering the country.
Oh, that's what's
If you've
next.
traveled.
Fear mongering, that is what's next. You're going to say, I want to go to Puerto Vallarta. I'm sorry, there's no international travel. We've shut that down. You think you live in a free country? I've got my passport. Oh, I'm sorry. We can't guarantee that you're safe down there. Literally, we can't guarantee that you're safe down there. I don't need you to guarantee my safety, except when I'm here. I'm a grown man. I'll go down there and battle it out with the folks down there.
Kelly Fromme asks, why is my body, my choice acceptable in one situation and not in another?
There you go. Well, partly because in this case, Callie, it also affects men. And men, especially white men who are employed that believe in God, they got no rights. Employed white people that believe in God are just the scourge of the earth, although they do pay 74% of the taxes.
Preach it. Hey, woman, preach it.
There you go. A woman. That's right.
Jeff
What did
Fonseca
Jeff
says he had an
Fonseca-
interesting response on Facebook asking about the vaccine. He's on the fence.
Yeah, he asked, I've got an opportunity to take it. Should I take it? And one of the responses that I read was, if you don't always take the flu shot and you don't feel any particular symptoms associated with COVID, why take it? I agree.
Peace of mind, maybe?
Right. I don't know. If you've had COVID or the vaccine, why do you need to wear a mask? That's a legit point.
That's a good question.
If I've had the vaccine, why would I need to wear a mask? I'm not going to get
Well,
it.
because the vaccine's only 90% effective, right?
So you won't take
Well,
a
but
chance
here-
on
but here's-
10% on 1 out of
Yeah,
3,000?
But here's the other thing, though. It's a two-stage vaccine that you've got to take weeks apart. So the first one itself isn't going to give you or the maximum immunity from the virus until you go back 3 weeks or 4 weeks later or whatever it is and get the second one. And then you still got to wait, I think vaccines can take anywhere from a week to 2 weeks to be fully effective, right? In your body. I don't know how mRNA or these mRNA ones work, if they work faster, but there's a time lag between, getting the vaccine and then the immunity from that vaccine picking up and working.
I'm wondering if there's been a slowing of the spread of STDs at places like Texas Tech. I mean, with this kind of diligence, we should be able to do away with things like chlamydia just in a matter of weeks. What if people just were this responsible about other things?
Michelle Hawkins says, I'm not even sure how long you'll be protected with the vaccine.
What if we threw $2.4 trillion at cancer research? I had somebody tell me the other day they didn't think that the problem with cancer research was a lack of funds. I think that the folks at the American Cancer Society would say, send us more money, we can do more research.
Sky Sanchez says she once read masks are preventing new cases of the flu, but they're not working on the rise of COVID-19.
Oh, I know why, Ash. The same people that want you afraid of COVID are the same people that don't really want to find a cure to cancer. Big Pharma doesn't really want to find a cure to cancer because they're in the cancer treatment business. They're not in the cancer cure business.
Think of the unemployment.
Well, that's right. Look at BJ Nelson. They said top of the list is Dr. Fauci. Yeah, Dr. Fauci is going to make a gazillion dollars off the. We've talked about it. The HCQ plant that blew up. You call that a coincidence? You're living in a dream world. What did Funky Tremolina say down there?
He said, I could tell you some stories.
I guarantee it.
Yeah. Michelle Hawkins really agreeing with Sky Sanchez.
Yep. That's Wade and Carter bringing people together.
Lee Spool says, Big Pharma nailed it.
People who need people should all wear a mask and stay inside. It's a joke. What else you got?
Well, I was just looking. I see Julian Assange, WikiLeaks founder.
Right?
Hasn't really put much out in the last couple of years. Fighting extradition, and the UK upheld his extradition or his stay of extradition to the United States to face what is he? I guess espionage charges, right?
So they're going to let him. The UK is protecting him
Yes.
from coming home. Think about that. Our probably most important ally is protecting a fugitive from American justice. You didn't really jump.
Is he a fugitive?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know where he stands. You didn't really jump on this when I told you this morning, folks. If you haven't read some of my conspiracy tolerant brain thinks, wow, this guy's out there. But you want to talk about a man who's had firsthand, absolute carte blanche exposure to Donald Trump for a long period of time. This is a guy that's worked for in legal counsel and other ways Donald Trump for a while. Lynn Wood. Lincoln Lou Wood. Go look this guy up because this guy is throwing it out there. He is saying, hey, I'm telling you that at the highest levels, and this does make sense. This would be a great book. It does make sense that at the highest level, our politicians are being held hostage by folks that have dirt on them that was coerced. And
come on, really?
I'm telling you.
I know what he's saying, but
unless he's just flipped a switch and gone nuts.
Well,
he was a trusted advisor to the president. I'm not saying he hasn't flipped a switch, but I'm just saying. Man, come on. It could be that ways.
You're put in a position, and he's alleging that some people, elected officials and others, have been put in position, forcibly detained,
correct,
forced to do things with threat of death.
And he says that Jeffrey Epstein is probably still alive. Think about that.
There are some. I mean, there is some air traffic out of Manhattan to Guantanamo around the time he's supposed to kill himself. So if you believe in some of that stuff,
what if the president
but
shuffled him off and said he's going to get killed? Hillary's going to off him. Let's protect this guy. What if? It seems like something I would do if I was president. Hey, don't let that guy die. Which I'm sure those two guards were told that left their post. So either they were paid to leave their post and somebody killed Jeffrey Epstein,
or they were paid to leave their post and somebody took him and moved them.
Yeah.
James Kerr says he's going underground with the ancient alien lizard people because humans suck. Yeah,
right.
There's a lot of proof of that.
There's a lot of that.
And just look at the way people treat animals, for one. But Lynn Wood is trying to convince me that certain people of influence, power, have been forcibly coerced to do things. It's been filmed or photographed, and they're using that as leverage with these people to get them to do things to their favor.
Right.
I mean, I'm just having a hard time buying that from a moral perspective, unless you've just completely sold your soul to the devil.
You don't think a lot of these politicians have?
Maybe.
Hillary Clinton, you don't see the devil when you look at her face?
But you can't start calling these people out. You're going to get put into some of these situations that he's claimed people have put into that you find so morally repulsive.
I agree.
That you wouldn't take the bullet in the head.
No,
and just be done with it?
There are the folks, they're actually alleging that some of these high-profile folks have been put in situations where they're literally forced to do things, unspeakable things with children, and then actually kill the kid. And the idea, now I don't know if I buy it all or not, but if there's even any smoke around this, it makes you nervous about what might be the case. This guy claims, and by the way, he's still alive, and he claims, hey, kill me. I'm willing to die for what I believe. Kill me and watch what happens when everybody turns over what they know. So I'm curious. I don't expect him to be long for the planet.
Probably not.
No.
Maybe he's got brain cancer or something.
Lisa Poole is a fan of his, and it says he's not holding back. It makes me curious that Lisa Poole listens to us every morning. People might think that we're off the rails. Loser.
Chargers need a new head coach. Jets fired. Didn't the Jets fire? No,
Tom Herman.
Jaguars fired their head coach.
Tom Herman's available.
I think the Jets fired their head coach, so the coaching carousel in the NFL begins. I don't think McCarthy's out for the Cowboys,
No.
despite some fans wanting him gone. I just don't see it.
To you too, Trey.
Defensive problems. I mean, they were down to third stringers on the offensive line. I mean, there were some issues, but I don't know that any team can survive third string offensive line woes. The entire NCAA basketball tournament getting played in Indianapolis. No regionals, no opening round anywhere. All to Indianapolis to avoid travel and some of those issues that are COVID related.
I agree with you, James Kurt. Kurt says there's certain humans that are so overcome with and full of evil that I believe there's no hope for them. They will never turn to God.
Oh, I agree. We see that on a daily basis when
Yes.
all you have to do is read the headlines and papers and look at what happens.
But you throw power in there, and people start rationalizing things in the name of power. And that's why, like, for example, I don't believe, my conspiracy roots aren't that deep. I don't believe 9/11 was an inside job. But I promise you that somewhere in D.C., there was a politician that said, man, if I'd have known we could have gone to war for just offering 4,000 folks, I'd have done it a long time ago. Somebody in D.C., no doubt, said, that's a pretty good price to pay. 4,000 people, a bunch of them were just business people.
White men business
Yeah,
people.
who cares about them? Let's go to. If I could have done that and gone to war, I'd have blown up something a long time ago.
I see my stock prices rise.
I believe that 100%. I believe Hillary Clinton said, oh, that's a good deal. That works. Folks, we're going to have to get out of here. It's going to take Ralph a couple of minutes to figure out how to make this board work. Although this mic seems to work well, and I apologize that I didn't just give it to Ash.
This was working fine.
Ash and I are losers. We're going to move on. We'll be here mañana on Caldo Wednesday.
We will.
Call us tomorrow. We'll have the board working.